What's going on, people? Welcome to one more Watch Please. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Rafael, the CEO of Formex, an independent Swiss watch brand known for its innovative designs, precision engineering, and bold approach to luxury timepieces. Today, we will explore the brand's evolution, its unique technology, and what drives their passion for watchmaking. So, without further ado, let's find out everything about Formex from Rafael. Hey, Rafael, how are you doing today?
Hello, Sankit. Very well, actually, a little bit sick, but otherwise doing pretty well. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm the same. I'm still recovering. I'm going on a holiday next week, so hopefully I'll be recovered by then.
Oh, yeah, let's hope.
Cool. How was the show in Paris?
It was great, actually. The audience there was amazingly well. How would I say? Well read and yeah, very kind people. Actually, it was a lot of fun to talk to them and spend time with them. And the new location is at the Samaritaine, which is a department store, a luxury department store. It was on the top floor on the gallery, and it was just amazing. Yeah, really good event. If anyone listening to this is in Paris, I highly recommend visiting next year.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So yeah, why don't we start telling the viewers something about your background and how did you get into watchmaking?
Yeah, so I kind of was into watchmaking since I can remember, because before I was even born, my dad had founded his business that develops, manufactures, and supplies components for different brands in the watch industry, mainly Swiss brands, but nowadays even more and more brands that aren't based in Switzerland, from mostly mid to high end range. So we manufacture bracelets, cases, clasps, and we also have another business that is a dial manufacturer where we create high-end dials and where all the Formex dials are created as well. And this one is part of the group and led by my uncle Romeo. So yeah, it's a lot of fun to work within the family to create products and also manufacture them.
Yeah, that's really interesting that you've got a lot of experience within the watch industry.
Yeah, so even when I was a kid, going to school, during my school breaks, holidays, I often would go to my dad's company and do little odd jobs or polishing, and yeah, I got a contact with these components pretty early on and learned how to work them.
Sounds good. So what's the story behind Formax?
So Formex was founded in the year 2000 by two brothers from Switzerland. So they were based in first in Nidau, close to Biel, and both of the brothers and some of their friends were also co-founders. They were all really into motorsports, motorbikes, cars, and all of that sort of high octane stuff. And they came up. They were all working in the watch industry already for companies that do pretty much the same as our company does, and they were all motorheads, and they came up with a system for a case suspension that kind of draws the parallels between motorsports and horology, and that adds a shock absorber suspension system to the watch case. And this is how it was founded, and that was very early 2000s. And Formex had a tendency to create designs that were really, you know, back in the early 2000s, the trend was, the bigger the better. So the watches tended to be quite large, 46 mil diameters, etc. And the brand name actually comes from the two French words extrême, forme extrême, which means extreme shape. So yeah, the shapes it was
Yeah.
fine was these big square inclined bullhead chronographs and even racing chronographs that you could turn the dial in, so you could incline it. So when you were driving and looking at the watch was inclined to the right position
Yeah.
to read the time or the chronograph. Yeah, really amazing stuff, actually.
Yeah, I've seen some of those. I think they call it driver dial, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't constantly inclined. There was a little slider on the side of the case, and you could actually incline it to both sides
Wow.
or to the center. So yeah, that was kind of the niche Formex was navigating in. And during the financial crisis in 2008, the watch industry also took a big hit, and then also the trend went on to more vintage inspired, smaller diameter watches, and Formex kept on holding on, but the business slowed down a little bit. A lot of the distribution partners weren't there anymore. So it was kind of a sleeping beauty when I got involved, and one of the founders was already working with my family on different projects. He was based in Hong Kong, living there, and yeah, he kind of wanted somebody to carry on with the brand. So I was able to take over and kind of reinterpreted the designs into a more modern shapes, modern sizes, and yeah, the whole collection we're offering, or that you can see on our website now, is came out of our pen stroke.
Yeah, and I think I must tell you, I really like all of the designs uh, that you guys have made so far.
Thank you so much. That's great to hear. So what I also did is I infused the brand with everything I learned working at my dad's company, Dexel. So I was working in product development. I was working with the designers, the engineers, and was managing the products and the projects. And everything I learned there, working for more higher end brands, were things that I kind of infused Formex with in the Formex 2.0. So that was in 2016. But I got Marcus on board, who studied with me. He's my best friend, and now is our marketing director. He's based in the States now. So he lives in San Francisco and handles our marketing from there. And so, when I joined the brand, I didn't have any connections or relationships related to distribution and sales of watches. I was always in the industry from the manufacturing and product development side of things. And so I went and early on in 2016, when I started the project, I went to knock at doors at retailers in all over Switzerland, and I pretty quickly figured out that nobody was waiting for a new brand that was not very known. A lot of the retailers were involved and engaged with the big groups. If you wanted
Yeah.
brand A from a group, or the top performing brand from a group, you had to also take the lower end brands, and that pretty much filled their stock. And meant they had a lot of cash out to be able to work with these groups. So yeah, nobody really wanted to take the risk to take on a new brand, and we didn't want to work on consignment. So we didn't want to just fill the stores, with consignment watches that were going to be put somewhere in a dark corner of their retail location. So yeah, we had to figure out a new way, and got inspired by the very few brands that were doing 100% online distribution back then, and we decided to go full on into online distribution, and also pass on the savings
Yeah.
to the customer. So yeah, we were able to really come down with the prices and create something new that we launched late 2018 with a Kickstarter that was quite successful.
Sounds good. That's a great story behind the brand. And I like how you've turned around Formex 1 to 2.0 and it's made it really successful.
Thank you.
Cool. So
I'm sorry. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
we've talked all about the brand and the story behind it. Let's see some of the watches that you guys have designed.
Should I just point them at the camera or?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So yeah, I didn't actually prepare many watches. I'm wearing the Essence 39 right now with the white dial. This was the Essence was the model that we relaunched the brand officially with the Kickstarter. So it was the Essence 43 millimeters. So we couldn't go small right away because there was a little bit of a community still adhering to the brand, and so we didn't want to shock them with too small of a watch. So we launched the Essence 43, still with the original old logo, and then over the next year, a lot of people asked for us to create the Essence because the design was really popular and created in a smaller design. So we came out a bit later with the Essence 39 millimeter with a redesigned logo that you can see here on my hat. And so the idea behind the logo was to take the Allen screw, the hex screw that is stylized in the logo, and that means a lot to the brand because the case suspension system was always held in place by hex screws. The logo was also, or the hex screw design was also on the crown. So this is something we wanted in our logo. And the old logo also didn't have a symbol; it just had a text. So we wanted to add a symbol and redesign the text as well. So here you can see the hex. If you look closely, well, now it's a front-facing camera, so it's the other way around. But this also is the F from Formex. This is the X from Formex. And the overall design resembles the infinity sign, meaning that
Yeah,
our watches are built for eternity.
yeah, that's a really good story behind the logo itself.
Yes, and so the next model we came out with, there's also a different story to that. In Dexcel, my dad had come up with a new material that is a carbon microfiber composite, and he created this to make clasps mainly. So very strong, light clasps that are flexible to include micro adjustments, for instance. And he launched a challenge to create a watch with this material, so the watch head out of this material. And at the same time, a lot of people were asking us to make a black version of the Essence. But I'm not a big fan of treatments such as PVD or DLC. Even though DLC is pretty scratch resistant, at some point it will always, you will see scratches where the metal shows and it flashes through.
Yeah,
And yeah, so in going with the tradition or the newly founded tradition at Formex of building watches that are really made to last, um, we actually incorporated this material to create a watch that is black, not because it has a surface coating or a treatment, but because the material it's made of is black. So the Essence Leggera was born, which I have a watch head here. This is the Essence Leggera with a forged carbon fiber dial. I don't think it's. Yeah, there you go.
yeah, it looks cool.
So as you can see, the bezel on this watch. Come on. The bezel on this watch is not carbon fiber. You can see the beautiful brushing that we took from the metal model, from the stainless steel model, and so the bezel is created from ceramic, so black ceramic. Why? Because we wanted to add this horological theme finishing to a very sporty watch that is all matte due to the carbon fiber material, and also because it renders the watch nearly unscratchable. So this is actually my personal Essence Leggera 41 that I've been wearing for about 2 years now, and you can barely tell. So I could put it back in the showroom, and nobody will notice that this is a worn watch. So it's a watch that is ultra light, ultra robust. It still has the chronometer certification, a decorated Sellita SW200 movement, and is just built to last.
Yeah, I think that's what people don't understand, why some watches are expensive than the others, because it's the effort that goes behind the scenes, and the value they get for their money and how long the watch lasts. It's technically the lifetime partners.
Yeah, for and for us, you can compare all the micro brands, and you'll find price differences. And usually, when it comes to Formex, our price difference, or maybe the little bit higher price, comes from all these features that we built in. So you have the case suspension that works. Let me see if it focuses. That works like that, which means that it's a shock absorber, but when you move your wrist, it will actually absorb your wrist movement and make the watch more comfortable to wear. So that is one factor. Then there are the little details that we're very enamored with, and really putting a lot of effort into. You have the beveled date window. It's not just the simple cutout that goes straight down to the date disc. The date discs are all dial colored always, so you'll never find a white date disc on a blue watch, or something that doesn't match. So these are all little details, and even the fact that all of our dials are made right here, a couple of kilometers from where our HQ is very rare actually in a
Yeah,
brand of our size. So the development capabilities, the portion of work we do ourselves. So we're a team of 10 people now. We build all of our own watches. The interchangeable bezel system on the reef. The bezels are manufactured here, and there's a lot of work that goes into a watch. It's not simply designing a watch, having the technical drawings made overseas, and then the whole manufacturing happens overseas. But everything comes together here, and we put a lot of actually elbow grease into each model. And that adds itself to the fact that the movements we choose are, except for the field collection, are all chronometer certified, decorated. This is also, just the movement decoration is a price different
yeah,
on the MSRP of about 120 Swiss francs, which is a big difference. But we noticed that our customers really appreciate that little extra mile we go, the extra
hmm,
attention to detail. And also the fact that we don't have a single tang buckle on any of our models. It's all deploying clasps, and all of our deploying clasps have our patented micro adjustment system. Um, I can show you. I actually have one here. So this is the Legera clasp. It's completely made of carbon fiber composite. It has our logo in there, and the little pusher you see here actually works for the micro adjustment system. So on your wrist, you can just slide the bracelet into the clasp, and it will make it tighter. And then you press this pusher here, and it will release. So it will allow you to micro adjust exactly the distance between two holes, 7 millimeters, in 5 clicks. So you can really find on your wrist, on the fly, the perfect fit. And I find myself using this about 6 to 10 times a day without even noticing. When you have it, you will use
yeah.
it.
And I think that's a really good feature to have in a new watch, because the one thing I don't like is like every time I get a new watch, I have to adjust the bracelet and everything to my wrist size. And sometimes I just avoid wearing a watch because I have to do that.
Yeah. So when you order a watch from our site, we ask you for your wrist circumference, your wrist size, and we adjust everything out the door. So when you unbox your new Formex, you'll be able to put it on straight away. Plus, you then have the micro adjustment systems built in.
Sounds good. So thanks for showing us all your good watches. For anyone who's watching this video, Rafael and myself are also going to be working together, and I'm going to be reviewing some of their watches. So make sure you're subscribed and watch this space to know more about Formex watches. So finally, where can the audience learn more about Formex? Is it just your
So
website or?
yeah, you can go to our website, formexwatch.com, our Instagram at formexwatch, and then we also have a very vibrant community of Formex fans on Facebook. We have a Facebook group called Formex Watch Club, where people exchange. New owners usually show their new pieces and ask for advice to older, more seasoned owners. And yeah, there's a really good amount of exchange going on there. And we also do some exclusive stuff on the Formex Watch Club. If you subscribe to our newsletter on our website, you'll also always get 24 hours of head start when we release new models, which means, if you have limited editions that come out, you'll be actually able to order them 24 hours before the press even talks about it. And that has been very useful for our stone dial releases that are limited, and anything that is limited really flies out the door 24 hours before it actually gets announced. So it's a really, really good space to watch.
Cool. What I'll do is I'll put all the link in the description below, so make sure you guys check it out. So to wrap things up, what advice would you give someone who wants to start their own micro brand?
I think the space is getting pretty full out there. The most important part is probably, for me, probably is the product, as you will see on our product. And then you have the story that goes around the product. So you have to sell the product with a story that goes with it. And yeah, don't cut any corners. So I think it's easy enough to start a watch brand or to create a watch nowadays with just all the people offering that, in Hong Kong or in China, uh, doing actually good work, and the manufacturing quality got much better in the last years. Um, but it's not enough anymore just to have a good design idea, send it over there, and have it manufactured. It really, you really need to come up with a whole package. So story, product, and how to talk to your customers.
Yeah, I think that's really important, isn't it? Because I see some brands, they just work with someone overseas and they just put bunch of parts together and they release them. There's literally no story behind the watch or the brand.
Yeah, I mean,
So
sometimes back in the days, this might have worked, and because the product was enough, and then there was the golden days of Kickstarter in 2014 and thereabouts, and yeah, that kind of slowed down a little bit. So yeah, you got to be more creative nowadays.
definitely, definitely. Cool. That was a really good piece of advice. So thanks for that. And thanks for joining us today. It's been fun talking to you, and I look forward to seeing your watches in person.
Yeah, thank you. Looking forward to seeing your review videos as well. Thanks for having me.